Well, I've done this a couple times, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just fly through this, hopefully. You just have a normal press here. You can do this with a hammer, you can do this without a press. There's a video on that on my channel if you guys are interested. The first plan of action is we need to remove the spindle here. This is gonna come out the direction of, if you're imagining it, where the wheel would mount up, it's gonna come out that direction. So I'm gonna stack my blocks just a little bit higher. Now what you need is a socket or something to fit inside of the spindle here. So I just have a 21mm socket, and this is going to fit in my contraption perfectly. It never works out this way. So we're going to start pumping our jack here, release valve. There we go. So now as you're seeing, this stuff is starting to cave in. We're going to keep going to see if it just keeps pushing out. And it's going to keep pushing out. So we need to redo our setup here. Damn it, Honda Civic. Fucking work with me. Fucking hell. We're just gonna take it to the ground. Same concept. Set up those blocks. Going high impact. I'm not worried about this dust shield cover because I'm just gonna remove it anyways. Here we go. Straight up just missed.
Yeah.
This socket's getting a beating of a lifetime.
It looks crooked as fuck.
Dude, it's not. You probably shouldn't pick the chromies for this.
No.
This is my 21. That's stuck in there. So now we got the spindle out, we need to get our C-clip pliers, and we need to remove this C-clip here. Impact screwdriver, Phillips head. Sometimes these screws are just rusty. I'm going to remove this straight to the junk. This is usually sometimes a little bit hard. Pressure down. Oh, tough. Let's try these 90-degree angle ones. Oh man, that's stuck in there. What you can do is lightly tap the bearing back down. That's going to back some pressure off that C-clip. So what I'm going to do is just get my impact screwdriver and just hit it right here. Just to tap it down. Just to tap it down just a little bit. Maybe that did the trick. Let's see. Getting a little bit of movement. We're going to go around the C-clip and just hit it down. See how we're doing. There we go. Got some movement there. I'm going to introduce another tool in once I get this first edge out just to make it easier. I'll stick something in there just to hold it because this tension is pretty tight. I'm going to hold it there. There you go. Give it that leverage and then you can pull it out the rest of the way. Now be careful, it's a volatile thing that will fly out kind of under sprung tension there when it's twisted up. So get some pliers, probably should wear some safety goggles, but we got that C-clip out now. Now we can push our bearing the rest of the way through here. On the back side we're gonna need a socket to fit inside of this circle here. Let me see what I have and I'll meet you at the press. Alright. Back at the press of doom. Now again, I have the challenge of trying to find some sockets that will work just fine. Let's see. I mean, this one fits pretty nicely. We'll try this one instead. Okay. Now we're running out of push out. So I'm going to raise this up, put a couple more blocks under, and press some more. Sweet deal. Old bearing is out. Let's get a new one in. We have a new wheel bearing from BECK ARNLEY. BECK ARNLEY is the part number for you guys. I'm gonna flip my knuckle over so I'm pushing in. Like that. I'm going to put just a little bit of grease on the outside of my bearing here just to make things slide a little bit easier. Just gonna put a thin layer of that on there. And there is a certain direction you need to place this in. Your ABS sensor is located at the bottom of this knuckle here. The ABS sensor will run along the bottom ring of that wheel bearing. On one of the sides of your bearing, you're going to have a side that looks brown like this, and then a side that looks kind of like this. This side is the magnetic side. This needs to go face down. Without this in the proper direction, your ABS will not work. So make sure you get that straight. And now to push this in, all I'm going to do is get the old bearing that I just took out and put that directly on top. That's going to create a perfect press tool here because that's the exact size that I need. I'm actually going to take one of these plates out from the bottom, stick it on top, and this is going to be our setup. So let's start pushing down, getting the press to go down, and get some interference here, and there we are. Now we're in the game. Let's see if this thing is going to press nicely. I think I need to adjust it just a little bit. Problem is that this knuckle is kind of getting in the way now. So my setup is going to have to change a little bit. I'm going to get over and just put this on and see if it works. So as you may have saw there, you may have missed it if you blinked, but it was going in slightly crooked, and then everything gave out and it lined up correctly. That's maybe not the best shot practice, but I found that it works quite nicely for me. If you're not directly on center, you might have a car god looking after you. Well, otherwise, we're going to keep cranking this down. Right there, it's nice and solid. When I pump, that's going directly into that wood. So that's how I know it's leveled out. The sound's going to change just slightly. We're going to retract our press, inspect our job. Now, this needs to be flat. You can check it on the other side. And there's no gap between the bearing and the knuckle. That's what we're looking for. We want a nice solid press in like that. Cool. Make sure your bearing still spins. That's good to go. Let's put that C-clip back in, and then we'll have to get the old race off of the old spindle. Alright, we got our C-clip all installed there, so we're good to go. But the spindle, I may have chosen an incorrect size socket for it, because as you can see, this thing is wedged in here. I'm going to try to get it out. I just put it in my little custom spindle holder here, and I'm going to try to hit this thing out. Joe has a couple of... Ooh, look at that fit. We're going to go ahead and use that and smackaroo. Okay, Joe. Hit him with it. Okay. Coming out?
I don't know if it's moved.
Ooh!
We're lucky. That's all I gotta say there.
Should we try the TikTok hack, Joe, with the acetylene torch?
No.
So we're just gonna make a nice cut right along here. We can put our chisel in there, strike it, and that might crack the race and give us that allowance that we need. Alright, so I'm gonna get my chisel here. I have a little bit of an issue here. If you guys look in there, you'll notice the splines for my drive axle completely mushed. And that is because I used the wrong size socket for pushing the spindle out. So you don't do what I did and get one that's so close to the size that it goes inside. Just keep it on this outside race here and you'll be good to go. You won't have to do what I am about to have to do. So to fix this, to remedy this, either you buy a new spindle or you get a file and you start filing away the mushed up metal. And that should clean up all those teeth to accept the new CV axle, or accept the CV axle. So I'm gonna get to filing. Alright, I think that'll work. Let's take a little bit of a closer look. Now see here you have those defined teeth now. That's what we're looking for. Now we can take this back to the press and press this into the knuckle. We have our knuckle with our bearing pressed in. C-clip is installed. We have our spindle free from the old race and a little bit notched out for the CV axle to be accepted correctly. Next, I'm going to grab my favorite grease, Super Lube, lube up the spindle just a little bit. Just like the bearing, we're going to add a little thin layer of grease here. And that's just going to get to slide just a little bit easier in there. And again, we're going to have to make some sort of setup here. What's important here is that you make sure that this race on the backside doesn't pop out. A lot of times when you press in this spindle, it's going to get past that first one, and then the second one will catch and walk itself out. You want to prevent that, and the easiest way to do it is just to get the old race that you just cut off, or maybe you have one laying around, and set that in there. That's going to hold this race in place, and it's going to hold it in place while the spindle comes through. We have that. We just need something to go on top here. Just like that. Now, let's work this press down and see what we got. I want to make sure this one on the bottom is lined up, but looks good. Let's press. It's going to get extremely tough when that thing is in place. I believe that was it. Now let's loosen it up, see how we did. As you can see, that race did not move any. We're good to go. Alright, 17mm tie rod end. We're going to screw this back on and hit this out. 16-ounce hammer. That'll do the trick. Take this out. I'm sure somebody's going to complain about how I did that. Tie rod's disconnected. Next, let's hit this axle nut. It's a 32mm. Yeah, doggy. Alright, now we got the axle loosened up. Let's take off the brake caliper. Let's use the breaker bar to get it loose first. I just have a little S hook here. I just hook it up here on my coil. Now I'll hold it up out of the way. Let's get this rotor off. Now we have two more things. McPherson strut / coilover, ball joint. First one loose. Should be able to this and get the cotter pin out a little bit easier. Alright. I just gotta get this off. Give it a couple smacks with my hammer. There we go. Old knuckle out, new knuckle in. Castle nut. I'll put the torque specs up on the screen. Now before I do this, I want to check my CV axle, see if it's going to fit in. Remember we had trouble with it earlier. And we're going to have trouble with it now. Nope. Woo! Look at that. Okay, cool. That fits together. Good win right there. Solid win. We needed that. Let's get a cotter pin, put it in our ball joint, and let's wrap this baby up. We're on the downhill, everybody. In here. Make sure our speed sensor goes in. Then put that in now. Perfect. Tie rod goes in. On. We'll rapid fire this on, we'll tighten it again. So we just exited the trailer there, maybe behind me you can see. We finished inspection earlier. I kind of had to run through some stuff. It's kind of in a rush this morning. However, we're getting ready. The car is ready over there, numbers on it, did the pre-check already. So now I gotta kind of wait up till Joe gets here and then wait till the course gets done and then do some course walkthroughs and see if we can map out the course and get in a good mindset today. All right, we've made it to grid. It's heat number 2 and it's ready to roll.
Next one in looking like Michael Grossenheider in the silver Miata, running in X, picking up a cone with a 36.800. He's still good enough to keep him in 7th and 28 in X class. Right behind him looks like Jose Joseph.
Just launched.
He is coming in 4th. He is coming in. STR DNF, limit to 38.5. No help on DNF. Not sure what happened there.
DNF, not sure what happened there.
Windows down.
Alright, Amelia Diaz in that Miata, DNF in a 38.5. Houston right behind in another Miata. 2 of 16 in STR, plus 1 on a 40.9.
It's all you, man. Oh, you're cooking the shit up, though. Jesus. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Camera's still there. It didn't even move.
Series Silverado, 19th of 89. Kicking a bunch of people out in cam there with a 46.6. Brought DNF, so
42.1.
not a lot of help there.
Damn, that's sick.
Mitchell behind him in the Civic.
That's sick.
42, New Cone King and something like that. Chris Mitchell plus 2 on a
44.
42.1.
That's not bad. You were cooking it, man. You were fucking cooking that shit.
It was gripping, bro. It was there.
So now you know, though. Now you see the course.
I was nervous.
You can anticipate shit.
Exactly. I was nervous about where the hell to go. I was honestly lost. I think on the exit of the that figure 8, it kind of baits a little bit because it feels like you can kind of keep accelerating through there.
Yeah.
But as we both saw, like
It tricks your shit out.
it totally just cooked me.
It was a trick.
So I think I just got to get those nerves off.
It's okay.
It'll be all right for a second one. Oh, dude, that's a perfect angle right there. Dude, that's so cool.
Will be followed very closely by
Like, it's
Cote.
literally like the.
Cote coming through 35.0, picks up 2 spots, going from 4th to 2nd in X class.
I
A
don't even think I
good run for Cote. Cote is .036 out of 1st place, so well within his reach. Got another sideways Miata. Oh man! I'm guessing we're on our 2nd driver here on this Tesla now. Finally.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Next one is going to be pickup after the lead drive of the Tesla Silverado. 89 best run.
It's okay. That was tight as fuck.
Beecham, currently 4th. Cone's probably not going to help him much at all. I don't know, it's coming over as a DNF, the 41.0, but a DNF, so no help from Beecham at all. Could have helped out though with now a DNF. He was in 4th and 11 in STS, so a good run might have launched him up into 2nd or 3rd.
Dang, what was I doing that time?
You're moving a little quicker.
Was I
so
milking too much?
You're milking a little bit. Because you just came out too wide. There was no way you were going to make that fucking quick ass like inner cone.
I thought, yeah, I feel like either I forgot or
Maybe.
maybe I was coming in too hot.
With a 39.3. Watching Houston, Houston got a little crazy on the last time he came through here. Houston 36, 8:47, best run so far, 4th run, 1 more to go. Right behind Houston is going to be the white Tesla, followed by the truck, coupe, and the Camry. Tesla coming through the lights. Picks up some decent time, 38.5. I believe that was about a second or so fast. Meacham 40.7 loses a spot. It's going to be in 5th of the 11 in STS. Right behind him is going to be that silver Camry. TRD Camry is Dale. Going to be right behind Meacham in the coupe, 5th of 11 in STS, so 39.4. Dale next one in, and the other in the silver Camry.